back with the market right here on ET now. Not much really happening in the market, so we're just pretty quiet right now in trade. And as promised, here's Mr. M.S. Unnikrishnan, MD and CEO at Thermax, joining in at the show right now. Mr. Unnikrishnan, good morning. Good to have you. You know, analysts were suggesting that we're seeing a steady capex ongoing, but no super cycle suggesting that the private capex cycle is on. Though slow, it is still ongoing. How is it that you're assessing the on-ground situation, and is it worrying what you see on ground?
Not certainly worrying, but not very encouraging is the right answer for it. If you look at the economic activity report for the last quarter, it has given a confusing signal. One is that the capacity utilization has improved. However, the ordering out for the capital goods and for capacity building had been one of the lowest in the recent past. So in fact, there had been many people who had asked me, can you please disseminate it for us? My answer was that the capacities were already created and were idling, and there is still surplus capacity available. So with the consumption having got stabilized, the capacity utilization is going up. However, the market is not perceiving that there is going to be a consistency in consumption pattern for the next few years. So the fresh investment and capacity creation is not very encouraging. That's the real ground level situation, Aman.
Right, Mr. Unnikrishnan, so that's really a fair assessment of how you're seeing the situation on ground. Do you think now that the stable government in the general elections could help the cycle gain traction? How do you see now the prospects for the sector shaping up, keeping elections in mind?
I would agree that there had been a slowdown in finalization from the private industry for quite some time because the signals were not very clear about the political stability going forward. So some of the investment decisions where they were always wanting the government support related to maybe facilities being provided, land acquisition being supported, and political support, not patronage. Some of such decisions are getting delayed. I'm expecting, irrespective of whatever the outcome of the elections, you will certainly find an improvement in the ordering out and capacity building to happen in the first 2 years at least of the new government. And apart from that, private capex, the delayed decision related to some of the capacity building in the commodity area, especially in steel industry, in possibly oil and gas industry, fertilizer, all this should also catch up during the first 1 to 2 years of the new government. So I would expect both private capex as well as government supported public capex to be catching up in the first year itself. So you will see a flurry of activity, and there it is not going to be related to which party is going to be coming, whether there's a continuum for the same government also, because this is a need for the country. The consumption is certainly going to be going up.
Okay, and if you could just give us a sense as to what the trajectory is for Thermax. Are you seeing a strong, double-digit CAGR growth? Are you on track for the annual sales target of 16,000 crores? And what will be your drivers?
Well, whatever number there is a mistake in what is given to you, we will be growing after a long number of years gap at a very substantial way in the current year. Being a silent period, I would restrain me from giving you any numbers on that front. So the current year, the results are already going to be announced in the next month. I may not be able to talk about it. However, I need to say that the order intake for the company, the way it was so positive in the first half of the year, may not happen for the second. However, based on the inquiries which are available both in the domestic and international market, we are expecting an improved order intake for the coming year. So it should certainly give us a better growth for the coming year also.
Thanks much, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Apologies that we have to cut short this interview, but there is some breaking news on the electoral bonds that we need to address. So let's take on board the flashes on your screens. The Supreme Court, and latest they are saying that there is no interim stay on the electoral bonds. They have said that all political parties have to submit particulars of the donors